Why is it that we can't throw a Boston Tea Party today, which would essentially mean destroying government property, value, and goods? Because it was against the law back then. They put themselves in serious danger, but they did it anyway. No matter how many completely BS unconstitutional laws they put into place, it is never illegal to rebel against a government that has become so corrupt that it's actually destroying itself from within and leaving the many people that live in that country in the most danger of its collapse. The reason that we can't or that we won't do the Boston Tea Party today is because we are too afraid of the consequences individually. Everyone is too afraid to be beaten up by the cops or to go to jail or to be followed by the FBI. But what people don't realize is if you had like 100 groups of 100 people doing it in 100 different places in the country, and then you got people going on that and you made it viral and it turned into 1,000 people and 1,000 groups doing it in 1,000 places around the country, they wouldn't be able to keep up with you. We're in a much more difficult situation given that there's the whole panopticon watching everything that we do. In fact, they're watching this video right now. But it's not impossible. It just has to be more organized. Where they're more technologically advanced and actually pretty organized, we have to become more organized, but we also have to become decentralized. And we don't even have to deface or destroy anything. How about everyone just not pay their taxes this year? Now, if the IRS owes you money, file your taxes. But if you owe them money, don't, because you actually constitutionally don't have to file your taxes. There is absolutely no constitutional law that tells you that you have to pay your taxes. If you didn't do it, if you refused and you had enough support and enough people did it, and it went to Supreme Court, the IRS would lose. And you wouldn't have to pay your taxes. And all you'd have to do is bring up the fact that they have passed a bunch of laws and mandates that were absolutely unconstitutional, that were illegal. Now, you'd want to eventually pay your taxes to an uncorrupt government, but first you'd have to say no. You'd have to stand up against tyranny. The reason we don't have Boston Tea Parties anymore is because everyone's too afraid to stand up to tyranny, or not enough people have the courage to stand up to tyranny. The reason we have complete morons running the country at the presidential level is because we're still voting. Like everyone that gives you a hard time when you complain about politics, but you didn't vote. It's like, well, you didn't vote, so you can't say anything. They're just monkeys. They're just brainless chimps that have been told to say that to you. No, the act of not voting is the protest. And if enough people didn't vote, or if everyone refused to vote and demanded a legitimate candidate that they put into the rankings, you have to understand these people would have to fold. They're only powerful because they stand on the shoulders of the 99%. Where does all their wealth come from? It comes from us. Where do all their buildings come from? They come from our labor. We're actually in control. We're the elephant that was tied since they were a baby with a rope to a stick in the ground. And we don't realize we could just pull the stick out now. We're the horse at the end of 1984 that has all the flies on it and won't even flick their tail to get the flies off. They're just flies. They're not powerful unless we make them powerful. All the gods, the lower G gods, get all their power from our worship of them, right? And if we worship the beast system, and we worship all of the dark priests of that cabal, that's how they become powerful. That's how they become like the gods. But they have to augment it all with their ridiculous technologies. And now they've created a militarized system to protect themselves from us, the ones who gave them power in the first place. It's a very backward situation, and people don't understand how difficult it actually has to get in order to make the transition. Everyone's afraid. Everyone wants to be like, love and light, you know, there's positivity, God's gonna win. These are stupid stories they told you to brainwash you into sitting still. Every single one of them. Every single one of them that tells you that you're going to be saved, you're going to be scooped up, that someone's going to come down and save everything, were all stories created by them to keep you quiet and shutting up and keeping calm and carrying on. This might be my last video. I don't know. I know I didn't violate any of the community standards, but you know, when you start talking like this, so, you know, save this video, right? Get that app that you can put the link in and download it without watermark. I don't care. Share it to everybody. You have to understand that this is the only way we're ever going to get out of the situation. And it's not us that are going to cause the physical aggression and the violence. It'll be them, right? All we have to do is say, I have boundaries. Please don't cross them. And these narcissistic psychopaths will immediately begin manipulating, lying, da-da-da-da. And when you say, hold up, nah, we're not doing that, what do? They get violent. They get destructive, right? They get treacherous. We're going to have to deal with that. You have to understand something. We're trying to kick the bad guy out of the house. It's not supposed to be easy or magical, okay? Stop calling on your numerology numbers and your tarot card readings and your Galactic Federation and your Jesus Christ. You're the savior. All right, start acting like it. Oh, by the way, for all those people that'll talk smack about, well, what are you doing? I'm doing a lot, right? I can't say some of the things I'm doing because I'm the only one doing them. And I need you guys to do it too so that we're not alone in this, okay? There's lots of things that I'm doing, lots of things I don't talk about that I do. For one, I don't vote. And I'm constantly telling everyone to not vote. So I'm already doing it. And then I'm making videos telling other people to do it as well. That's how it starts. Make videos, get it in people's heads, help them understand what's actually happening here and what we actually need to do to create a kingdom of heaven on earth. It requires courage, bravery. And the first thing it requires is getting really loud and talking a lot of sense and converting a lot of people out of their brainwashed ideologies and philosophies and out of their own fear to be courageous, critical, free-thinking people once again. That is the only thing that is going to save us. Other than that, we're doomed if we sit still. If we keep talking about all the conspiracy theories, if we keep obsessing over when the next Epstein client list has come out, we know they're monsters. We know what they've done in trafficking rings. We know some of these crazy fucks eat people. Okay? We already know they're monsters. How much more evidence do you need? Peaceful protest, non-participation, but you actually have to do it. And you've got to carry it like a banner and convince other people to do it. You shut the system down. You kill the beast by starving it. It's the only way to do it.
Do you remember back when that YouTuber disappeared after teaching people how to open a portal inside of his bedroom by using different sound frequencies?
Missing YouTuber and his viral video. It's all part of a mystery centered around Sedona, Arizona.
Go ahead and play that. So, here 528 tone. I also have another tone generator set to 525, and I'm about to show you what will happen with that. There we go. 528. And already you can see a much more stable fracture.
Did you know when you die, your soul go to the moon, and the moon take your soul and throw it right back on Earth? Watch this. The moon is a life review program. Once you get to the moon, they show you how bad your life was. So you can say, shit, I want to do it all over again. And once you agree to it, guess what? You come right back to this planet. 2024 is going to expose every lie that was told in the Matrix. 2024 is number 8. Number 8 is the hidden number. 7 days of the week is a program. They want us stuck on number 7 so we won't overstay what number 8 really means. When you ride down the street and you see these traffic lights, did you know these traffic lights actually program your soul to believe a certain way? When you are looking at these colors, they're not really traffic lights. They are your chakras that's upside down. Every color they used in this matrix is actually attacking one of your chakras. If you don't understand how your chakras work, you will always be stuck within your chakras. Next time you ride down the street and you see these traffic lights, turn it upside down so you can have a better idea of what's going on. Remember, 2024 is number 8. We have 8 planets in our solar system. We have 8 phases to the moon. Number 8 is really important, but they keep it from us for a reason. Even when it comes to spirituality, they be lying. They said we only have 7 chakras, and 7 days of the week is all connected. This is a false program. We really have 8 chakras, but if we keep focusing on number 7, the crown, we will never understand what the soul star is. The soul star is our 8th chakra. The soul star represents the full moon because the full moon is the 8 phases or the 8th cycle of the moon. Remember, the moon eats our energy until it get full. And once it get full, it take our energy and push it all back to us. The full moon is the artificial 8th chakra or the soul star. So while we're distracted trying to reach our crown chakra, the people that control this matrix are still in our soul star. The soul star represents everything because it's all about abundance. That's why number 8 is so important, because 2024 is going to break down every lie that was ever told to us. We're about to get the truth back to us. Remember, they use numbers to program everything in the matrix, because once you follow these numbers, you can actually be numb. But the number 8 is coming to all of us. Number 7 is their program, but what they did was they flipped reality upside down. So now we don't understand what our true mission is.
Let me get this straight. So most people are living paycheck to paycheck. Half of us have no savings at all, and only 20% of us can afford housing. But if we can't pay for rent, we can't go to the homeless shelters because they're all overcrowded. And in every single state besides 2, being homeless and not in a shelter is illegal. And if you go to jail, you're going to be doing free forced labor. How are we okay with the world where 1% of all people own everything? They own the places we shop at, they own the businesses we work at, and they own the buildings that we live at. We compete against each other to get access to employment from them so that they can give us a paycheck to buy the things we just produced for them, the things that we need to live. And then even after all that, they make everything more expensive so that they can take even more from us. And we can't stop it because there's no place else that we can go to buy our food or live. And we can't get the government to do anything because everyone in the government was effectively handpicked by those very same people that own everything. And it is in the interest of the people making the laws to make laws that are good for the owners, because if they don't, they won't get reelected. Is this really the world y'all want?
The money then returned back to the your own money, as a loan, and which the alleged borrower repays charge you when interest. The bank never came up with any of its own money to obtain the promissory note. Am I hearing this right? I give you the equivalent of $200,000. You return the funds back to me, and I have to repay you $200,000 plus interest. Do you think I'm stupid?
All the banks are doing this. Congress allows this.
Does Congress allow the banks to breach written agreements, use false and misleading advertising, act without written permission, authorization, and without the alleged borrower's knowledge to transfer actual cash value from the alleged borrower to the bank and then return it back as a loan?
But the borrower got a check in the house.
Is it true the actual cash value that was used to fund the bank loan check came directly from the borrower and that the bank received the funds from the alleged borrower for free?
This is true.
Is it the bank's policy to transfer actual cash value from the alleged borrower to the bank and then keep the funds as the bank's property, which they then loan out as bank loans as if they actually owned it and loaned their own money?
Yes.
Was it the bank's intent to receive actual cash value from the borrower and return the value of the funds back to the borrower as a loan?
Yes.
Do you believe that it was the borrower's intent to fund his own bank loan check?
I was not there at the time, and I cannot know what went through the borrower's mind.
So if a lender loaned a borrower $10,000 and the borrower refused to repay the money, do you believe the lender is damaged?
If a loan is not repaid, the lender is damaged.
So is it the bank policy to take actual cash value from the borrower, use it to fund the bank loan check, and never return the actual cash value to the borrower?
The bank returns the funds.
Was the actual cash value the bank received from the alleged borrower returned as a return of the money the bank took, or was it returned as a bank loan to the borrower?
As a loan.
So how did the bank get the borrower's money for free?
That's how it works.
No more questions, Your
I'm trying to simplify this for you. Grab your social security card. Look at the back. There's going to be a red letter followed by 8 numbers. That red letter is going to correspond with the Federal Reserve Bank. There are only 12 banks. Look at the banks. Look at the letter. Whoever's letter you have, that's the bank that owns your account. These letters are also on money.
I'm at the grocery store and I want to show you some examples of man-made food modifications. First, I want to show you this head of cabbage here. This thing is unbelievable. I have a pretty big size hand and this thing is gigantic, and we have to ask ourselves if this is just growing really well or if this is a mutant plant. Here's one of the worst plants in the world here. These beets used to be the size of a radish. They have GMO'd these, and even if you call them organic, it don't matter because they are modified. The genes are modified. These things are bred up for their sugar and their size, and they're highly modified. They made with 5 different plants. They fused plants together with chemicals and made it. Carrots, they made. Celery is man-made, bro. Yes, I hate to tell you guys this. It's mostly just water and fiber, but man made this. This is the problem. They make these things, man. Sprouts are a hybrid plant. God never made this plant. Remember what the size of a radish used to be? Look at the size now. It's a great way to get your lettuce because it's living. You still have the roots attached here, guys. This is a high vibe. And try to get it without being triple washed, because when they triple wash your vegetables, they use a chlorine solution. Everybody gets mad at me for exposing this food that they didn't know was fake. So I made you guys a food list in my bio. Take advantage of it or not. I'm really just here for the truth, you guys. Nothing more. Man-made and they're pure sugar. Man-made hybrid plant. Our man-made It will rob you of your nutrients because it has no carbon. It has nothing to it. It's just a plant they grew and made. Shiitake mushrooms are man-made. They're hybrid mushrooms. They are making them unnaturally. Are man-made. Yes, even your delicious kiwis are man-made. It was man-made. It's our God-made. These are still real. These apples are all made by man, and look at how they're 10 times the size.
If you're currently having a criminal action or a traffic ticket or anything like that, and someone asks you, how do you plead? Before you plead, you're going to make this statement and make sure it's a part of the record. Anytime you're in court, the first thing you should ask, are we on the record, and can I be provided a stenographic record of these proceedings? This doesn't work if you're not on the record. So you will make the following statement. For the record, I simply do not understand the nature and cause of the accusation with regard to the elements of personal jurisdiction, venue, and the nature of the action until the prosecution properly alleges them. I'm therefore unable to enter a plea to the charge until I've had an opportunity to raise a meaningful defense against these elements. I cannot rebut an unstated presumption. These courts operate off of presumptions, assumptions, and color of law at all times. So they're presuming that you already know all of this, but you have a Sixth Amendment constitutionally protected right to know, and the only way you're going to know is when you ask. There are only 4 jurisdictions in the Constitution, 2 of which are very similar. That's maritime admiralty, and then we have common law and equity. It can only be one of those. So when you're asking them, Yana, is this criminal or civil? And they say, well, this is a criminal action. And you say, well, thank you, Yana. Let the record show that the action being brought against the defendant is a criminal action. Now, sir, I have another question for you. The Constitution for the United States of America only grants this court 2 criminal jurisdictions. One is under the common law, and the other constitutes a condition of contract and the criminal aspects of a colorable admiralty jurisdiction. Now, sir, for the record, would you please tell myself and this court under which 2 of these criminal jurisdictions you're trying this criminal action? What you're trying to get at is you're trying to understand the nature of the action. Common law requires that there be a injured party who's sworn out an affidavit. If they say the state of Georgia or the state of anything is the injured party, call them to the witness stand, because the Sixth Amendment also protects your right to face your accuser. So if they're going to say that a legal fiction entity is the actually injured party, call them to the witness stand to call out their foolishness and their silliness. These are colorable courts using colorable money, and they are not operating constitutionally the way that you think that they are. They do have sanction under the Constitution, but it's only in a territorial capacity. And they are civil in nature, which means there's some sort of pecuniary interest that the court has in it. This is how they create what are called prison bonds, and they sell them on the market. They never got rid of slavery. If you read the 13th Amendment, it says slavery shall not exist unless you're convicted of a crime. So this is a modern day slave trade that's going on. You got to open your eyes and see what's happening. Peace to the God. Stay tuned for another one. Peace.
Pay for your city, right?
The reason you feel so sick and tired every single day is the same reason you are so unproductive. It all comes down to one root cause. You are not giving your body the love it deserves. So here are the top 3 natural supplements for your best health. First, sea moss, the favorite of Dr. Sebi himself. He taught us that sea moss has 92 of 102 minerals your body needs, and he gave sea moss to his patients for energy, immunity, and heart health. Next, black seed oil, a potent natural healer with countless benefits. Many who take it notice younger, smoother-looking skin and longer, thicker hair. Last, burdock root, high in vital antioxidants and fully Dr. Sebi approved. He said burdock root could purify your blood and clear your body of toxins.
I was sitting one day drinking some coffee, and I was looking at the line at Chick-fil-A. 3 lines starting at 10:30 in the morning, and I stayed there for an hour. It never let up. I said, ain't no way in hell that a chicken sandwich tastes that good. So I said, let me see. I wonder what they're putting in it. And I started doing the research right at the time that you remember, in the hood, there was this argument, Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A, and everybody was going back and forth, and you seen people at Popeyes, man, got shot. The man shot somebody because they didn't have no more chicken sandwiches left. I said, this ain't no regular chicken sandwiches. So I went and the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Come to find out, they have over 40 ingredients in the Popeyes chicken sandwich. 32 of them were man-made chemicals. And I said, well, let's see what Chick-fil-A has. Over 50 chemicals in the chicken sandwich. Over 40 of them were man-made chemicals. I said, so hell, this is a dope sandwich. So they really are flipping birds over there. I mean, because there's no way in the world to justify. So whenever I seen that, I said it in a message, and someone took the clip of it and then went on the website of Chick-fil-A, had it broke down where they were clicking on it, showing all of the ingredients and these chemicals that were in it. Do you know the next day, Chick-fil-A took that down off their website? But now you can't find the ingredients to the Chick-fil-A sandwich or the Popeyes chicken sandwich, because they don't want you to know that they're drugging you, they're doping you, that they have you wanting the food not for nutritional value, but because you've become addicted by the MSG and the other chemicals that they've inserted in